Greetings, everybody. Good day to you all. This happens to be for Sportstalk episode 401. Got a lot to get into, not too much time, so let's just start bringing it to it. We'll start the news. The Yankees placed veteran relief pitcher Michael King on the 60-day IR list. Doesn't even matter for the best team in baseball. They got this whole season under wraps. Late to the trade deadline, they're gonna go ham, I predict. Mike Trout, in his rib injury, is going to make him not eligible from return from IR as promised. He's still dealing with the rib inflammation, and it's going to sideline him for at least about another month. Houston Astros ace, one of my favorite pitchers in the league, Justin Verlander, continues his hot month of July, earning an MLB best, 13 wins so far this season. And man, you saw when he got to the All-Star game, the kind of ovation I gave him. I've never seen anybody throw it so hard, and to see him jump back from Tommy John surgery as quickly as he did was pretty impressive as well. Phoenix Suns and head coach Monty Williams, they agreed to a long-term contract extension. No word yet on the details, but that bodes well. Keep that Suns team together. Chris Paul just might get a ring at some point. Kyler Murray's new deal mandates film study, 4 hours of it, and this shit made me laugh, honestly. I think like that there's maybe a discrepancy in language with the contract and what's allowed to be put out in public, but I'm pretty sure that's not exactly what it is, but it was what was reported. So I don't think NFL quarterback like Kyler Murray needs something like that in his contract. It just comes with the territory. Film study as a quarterback, you're always trying to learn, grow, and get better. So I don't think that was a detail that should have gotten to the public. I mean, it's kind of like common sense, really. But hey. Danny Amendola, 36 years old, decided to call it quits. 13 years in the league. He played for the Patriots, the Dolphins, Lions, Texans. Started with the Rams as well. First off, two-time Super Bowl champ. Both of those was with Tom Brady in New England. Finished his career with 617 receptions, 6,212 yards, and 24. Wow, count them, 24 touchdowns. Anyway, all right, that's it for the news. Now I want to talk about Lamar Jackson. There's a little piece of my perspective on what's going on with his contract. So have popcorn and keep the feedback. Anyway, does he deserve a raise? Should he start making plans to move elsewhere? The former league MVP heads into camp without an extension being done. So where do Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens stand on this? Kyler Murray's 5-year, $230.5 million contract represents yet another watershed moment in the rapidly exploding NFL quarterback market. How Murray's contract impacts Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson bears watching along on the same lines of future contract bartering for Russell Wilson when he needs his deal done. It's all going to be based off this 5 years, $230 million. I would say Russell, though, as far as age is concerned, is probably worth only maybe one more extension. That's not haterish by any means. It's realistic as to his age difference compared to the other passers that were mentioned in this paragraph. Anyway, Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow, because he's going to need a deal. He went to the Super Bowl last year. Los Angeles Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert, over 5,000 yards passing, no playoffs though. So that was definitely a disappointment for them out west. And the AFC West, as we mentioned earlier, Russell Wilson being in Denver now, kind of makes that division way more competitive. And Devontae Adams going to Las Vegas. However, it's conceivable, if not a likely scenario, that all of these deals, perhaps signed by the offseason and maybe sooner, in Lamar's case, will eclipse recent contracts signed by the likes of Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, and Kyler Murray in terms of like average per year. So You can kind of wait to the offseason, make that deal after all of those quarterbacks have potentially, or not potentially, reached an agreement with their teams. That's dope. That's dope. The Ravens and Lamar are at least talking. However, there's no deal that is imminent or set in stone. Jackson has no agent. It's his mom and his inner circle. So he's not in any rush really to sign a contract. His money's right now. But in other words, Kyler's deal is basically the floor for what Lamar would get. And he's going to want more money than Kyler, honestly, especially letting this thing drag on to the off season. Especially if Baltimore makes it to the playoffs. Maybe he'll have a new career high in passing yards. Maybe they're actually going to force him to be a quarterback and he's going to go ham. But either way, every big time quarterback is going to ask for the Watson deal, we'll call it, or more. Not everyone is worth every single dollar guaranteed. But I view that contract as like the exception. That part of it's the exception. The rule, I guess, the standard will be the 5-year, $230 million. Difference is he got every penny guaranteed. It could change, but teams are going to be hesitant to start making this like Major League Baseball, like making football like that, with huge guaranteed contracts. So whatever Lamar winds up getting is likely to be topped by another quarterback down the road, as it's been in history. So there's no sense of urgency on his part to sign, also because money will only keep going up as long as he remains healthy and productive, consistent. The Ravens aren't expected to want to sign him under that franchise tag next year, which is almost $50 million, I believe the number is. Okay, I put something down here about it. He's due $23.16 million this year under a fifth-year club option the team exercised a year ago. Good thinking. He could make roughly $47 million next season under a franchise tenure. But that would crush the Ravens' salary cap because none of the money would be prorated. So it's like, yeah, that 47, I'm going to need that straight cash, homie. He's a former NFL MVP. He's incredibly valuable to the Ravens. I don't think their management can let him go and say that was an equally talked about same decision, honestly. But what has changed between these two? At one point it looked like he was close to getting a deal, and then reports kind of like swayed. Unlike the past when Lamar raised eyebrows and created some consternation when he politely declined to open contract talks or attend volunteer off-season workouts, Jackson reported on time for training camp and has engaged in talks with the Ravens. So now this year it's a little different, and just that plays along with what you could expect from Baltimore this year, what you can expect from Lamar Jackson. And, really gives you a good feeling that they have the offensive line, that had that issue squared away. We'll see. But more importantly, seeing this young man take the next step and bring his team to the playoffs, and he's being smart, just waiting for the money next year. Because if they're getting $230 now, they're going to be getting $3 by then. He can sign for maybe $320, maybe who knows, $350, who knows, whatever the number will be for free agent quarterbacks in the offseason, but he's definitely playing it smart. And although he previously pushed off the potential blockbuster payday that owner Steve Biscotti and general manager Eric Costa were quite willing to sign off in the past, that kind of changed as well. This guy is an independent thinker who does things differently. His group is kind of close knit. You don't really hear too much about him and his family and what he's got going on. He's open and interested in the long-term deal with Baltimore from I understand. And I think on my mind of minds, it's going to get done at the end of the year. Another thing I like about Lamar is, lets it out in public. He doesn't care how he feels about certain situations. And on Twitter, I saw the fucking boxer Jake Paul said something about he needs the Murray money deal. Like, you know, everybody's saying he got that 5 years, that big contract too out there in Arizona. I think Lamar definitely deserves that. He's a little bit more consistent of a player than Kyler Murray, but I don't know. Just the way he's waiting and negotiating on his deal is some smart shit. As for the Ravens organization goes, Coach Jim Harbaugh has weighed on the topic multiple times. You know, he gets bothered by a lot, and he's already got a whole ton on his plate as the season progresses. He's not worried about it at all, and believes the deal will get done, and Lamar will be back here next year, potentially the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. The close quote. Lamar's not really worried about the money. This is a guy who I think is gonna go out there and have a crazy fucking year. He's gonna do what he does with the major decisions, keep that to himself, his little inner circle, and I think this year we're gonna definitely see him go ham and earn that contract, or shoot, he's gonna be making $300 million playing over. And yep, so there it is. That's my thoughts on the Lamar Jackson contract situation. Let me know how I did in the comment section of this video, please and thank you. Let's turn to college football as we continue the series in investigating these passers. Today we stop on Kentucky Wildcats. Will Levis, quarterback. This guy's had one hell of a journey to get where he's at, and the story is far from over. Born June 27th, 1999 in Newton, Mass. He pretty much knew his entire life he was going to be a quarterback. He went to Xavier High School, Middletown, Connecticut, set records as a senior with 2,793 passing yards and 27 touchdowns. Not bad for like a run-first team. This is where it starts to get tricky, though. This is where it's like, yeah. He attended Penn State from 2018 to 2020, and during that time he redshirted his first season, and then was Sean Clifford. He was Sean Clifford's backup. 2019, his first career start was against Rutgers. He went 8 for 14, 81 yards, touchdown, a pick, and ran it for over 100. But yeah, overall, he didn't really get a chance to play. Though he racked up 6 rushing touchdowns, he threw 2 picks, and that was not enough. That was not enough for him. Transferred to Kentucky after having graduated from Penn State's Smeal College of Business. Wow, kiddo smart. With a degree in finance. He was named starter to open the season in that very first game, throwing for 367 yards and 4 touchdowns. Starting all 13 games for the Wildcats last year, going 233 of 353, 27 yards, and 24 tuds. Rushing for almost 10 scores on just 376 yards. So, red zone, this guy was a fucking animal too, on 107 carries. Led the team to the second 10-win season since 2018, beating the number 15 Iowa Hawkeyes in the 2022 Citrus Bowl, a game in which I lost a lot of motivation. It was ridiculous. Now he's in a class of quarterbacks with immense talent. Like, this is a very deep class. Is he a true first rounder or no? Or is he going to have to prove it to you this year with what he does in Kentucky? Now they don't have Wanderlei Robinson, so that home run that he was always hitting steady is not there. He's in New York, so make sure you check back tomorrow as we continue that segment of investigating these college football passions and seeing if they're ready to get to the NFL. MLB, baby. Cincinnati over Miami 11-2, Philly 6, Atlanta 4, Baltimore 5, Tampa Bay 1, Boston 3, Cleveland 1. Oh my God, We won a game. Detroit 12, San Diego 4, Chicago 3, Pittsburgh 2, Kansas City 7, LA Angels is nothing, Colorado 2, Milwaukee 0, Oakland 7, Houston 5, Arizona 7, San Francisco 0, Seattle 4, Texas 3, Washington 4, LA Dodgers 1. I wonder when Gabe Kapler's going to get fired. The Giants really disappointed this year. WNBA. The WNBA returns tonight in a huge matchup at 8:30, and it's the 20-8 Las Vegas Aces and my girl Kelsey Plum against Candace Parker and the 21-7 Chicago Storm. Probably the best team in the WNBA. I thought it was Las Vegas for a while, but they lately have been kind of on the skid. Anyway, episode 401 is in the books. This is the second YouTube-only week episode, and if you are seeing this, I want to say thanks for everything you do. Thank you for your support ever. You're important. You matter. Thanks so much. I hope you all enjoy your day.